I'm Dan, and I'm going to show you the basic idea behind DataMate. Okay, DataMate, you can get it on the marketplace. DataMate has several apps inside of it, but DataMate, the basic idea behind DataMate, is that it will save anything, any data, any image that is in an area on a spreadsheet. And let's go ahead and make a new data set, and I'll show you what I mean. So we've got a new data set, and it will create 5 sheets. The input sheet, this is where you input your data, no matter what it is. The print view sheet, which will you can view and print from here. It'll create a log sheet to log all your records, an update sheet so you can update up to 3 updates for your data, and the data set, the data sheet, which is an expanded Google spreadsheet to the limits of the sheet. It will be basically a lightweight database for your records. So say I want to create a record or a template. Say I've got a template that instead of invoices, you create an invoice, you rename it, and you put it in a file. This puts it into a data set. So let's just grab, let's just copy some, let's just get a template. Let's go to, it can be anything. It can be an invoice, it can be a purchase order, it can be a timesheet, it can be any data that you want to track. Let's do an invoice. Okay, we've got this invoice, and I'm just going to copy this area here. Copy that. Control C, copy it. Go back to my sheet 1 will be basically the template of your database. So let's just paste. So just Control V. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I've got my template. This can be anything. It can be anything that will fit in A3 to Q48. Q48. Down here. That's the extent. The reason that the reason that it is that area is because you can put usually any template, either landscape or portrait on that area, and it's also the maximum amount of cells that can be saved in the limits of the data sheet. So the data sheet has columns, it's at its maximum column. So that was the extent of the data area that I could save. So okay, we've got a sheet 1. We put our template in here, and what we want to do is go to DataMate and wait a minute. Let's put a logo or something in here. Let's merge those cells so that they, and insert an image. You can let's see, get some Google image here, logo. Let's find a logo. Here's a neat one. Okay. So we got our logo in there. And you can design this any way you want, but make sure it's A3 to Q48. That's the extent of the data that can be saved. All right, so we've got our, let's go ahead and DataMate. Now what we're gonna do is reset the input so that format and everything is in the input, so it's ready to take data. And then let's also reset the view print sheet, because that will format that as well. So now we've got our view print. It's formatted for the input. So and this is our template, so if you want to make changes to your template or anything, you can. So input, let's save a record. Let's make this record 1 to Joe. Okay, but before we do that, now what we want to do is set up our what we want to track. So you can track up to 12 fields on your table. All right, so you can track up to 12 fields. So the way you do that is you want to put the label of the field, push equals. We want invoice number, enter. Okay, and then you want the data underneath it, so it would be equals this cell. Whatever data is in that cell will be the, all right, and say you want to track who it's for, so equals invoice for, enter. Okay, yep, that's what we want. Equals this cell, enter. So we have tracked the invoice number and who it's for. You can track the amount up to 12 log entries. So let's go ahead and save this. DataMate, save the record. You'll use that a lot. So we're saving that record. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, there it is. There's Joe, invoice number 1. And like I said, you can track up to 5. Now, if I have a blank sheet, this is my template. So on the input, if I want to refresh that for a new record, reset input. All right, so it'll bring up whatever is on your template. So now we're ready for another record, and this will be, call it Dave. This will be invoice number 2, and let's just 2 of those, 3 of those. So that's $600, so that might have changed. Okay, and we'll save that record. DataMate, save record. So it'll save that record. Now we have invoice number 2, Dave. And then it's changed the data, number 2, Dave. This is, you select your records up here to view or print. Here's Joe again, there's Joe. Saves the data, saves it into a log. So you can add fields here on the input sheet by, you know, say you wanted to due date equals enter, and then equals, and then select the cell, and then press enter. So now we've got the due date logged. So the next time you save a sheet, let's just, we can change this or reset the input. Larry, and this is invoice 3, and he wanted 10 of those. So okay, so now we've want to save that record. DataMate, save record. So this creates a database with a table that you can sort your data. Here we go. There's Larry. Due date. And then on your log, you have the due date for Larry. You can add, like I said, up to 12 of those. If you want to update something, you come up here to, let's just put date paid. And then you'll have on the update date paid, so you want to put, let's say 1, he was late. Okay, now then on your log, it'll show that update. And you can also go to the print view and say over here, date paid. Paid. and then you want to collect that data. So you want this to say equals that information, enter. So you can add up to 3 updates, whatever you want, date shipped, check number, whatever you want. This works with any data, any form that you want to keep, rather than putting a bunch of invoice files in a folder and renaming them. This is Dave, Larry, Joe. You have a database and a table that you can sort your records, and also it's for analytics, anything you want, but this is the basic idea of DataMate, to save any record and have a lightweight database all within Google spreadsheets. So that's it for now. There are on DataMate. There are other parts of it that you can create web forms. You can bring in your contacts to add to your data or your sheet. Say you had a bunch of contacts that you wanted to put in the address block. You can create an address block for anything, but I'm just showing you the basics of DataMate. That's the idea. It's data sets for all within Google Sheets. You own your own data. So this is Dan signing off. Thank you.